Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Your Stocks, coming live from CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal Studios. I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much for tuning in. And the market's managing to hold on to 22,900 levels is what the Nifty is doing. And we're seeing that the broader markets, that's seeing an outperformance today as well. So Nifty mid-cap, small-cap, clear outperformance, second consecutive day of outperformance. We've spoken about that, and that outperformance is continuing as of now as well. There's no change since the last time we spoke at 1 o'clock. Bank Nifty, that also continues to be among the top gainers, while realty names, that is surely buzzing away in trade today. So Nifty, realty, top sectoral gainer. Other than that, we have metal names, obviously, on that safeguard duty that is coming in of around 12.5%. That is expected to be coming in. The recommendation that is made by DGTR is keeping the metals and steel stocks in focus as well. So that's something that we're keeping an eye out on today's trading session. Top sectoral loser, keep an eye out on Nifty IT. That continues to be under pressure, as well as Nifty FMCG. That is down almost 0.5% in today's trading session. But yes, that's the market setup that is looking like. Managing to hold on to the green right now. Not much of a downside that we're seeing coming in. Last couple of trading sessions have been exciting for the Nifty. Hope that sustains. But let's bring on board our experts for today, who are here to help you solve all your stock-related queries that you all have sent us. And joining us today, we have Astha Jain of Securities, as well as Somil Mehta of Mirae Asset Sharekhan, to answer all those doubts. Astha, Somil, thank you so much for joining in with us this afternoon. And Somil, before we get started with the queries, markets today 22,900. As of now, it's managing to hold on to. If it sustains by the end of the day, what are we watching out for?
My targets have been, for short term, my targets have been 23,400, which is very close to 200 daily exponential moving average. So as soon as we started moving from 22,000, which was a very, very crucial support in the very long term, where we were held on to a long term upward sloping trend line. Now the next level to watch out is 23,400, which is 200 daily exponential, and that will be the real hurdle going forward. If we cross above that, then I think a medium-term bottom is formed, and above that, maybe 24,000 or 25,000 is also possible. But at the moment, 23,400 is my target in the short term, and 2300 will remain a very crucial support as a reversal.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on those levels over there. But let's move on and get started with all those stock-related queries. And the first query we have is coming in from Umesh Pathak, who's writing to us from Nagpur. They're holding 100 shares of Inox Wind. This is at a price of 166 rupees per share. They want to know whether they should continue to hold this or maybe look to sell this one. Right now they're making a profit on this one, some bit of a profit, mild profit, but Astha, your view coming in for Inox Wind, are you expecting an upside here on? What are the fundamentals looking like?
Hi, good afternoon to all of you. Fundamentals are looking strong to us, and hence we are positive on this counter, giving a hold recommendation on the counter with a price target of around 190 to 200 odd levels. Now, talking about this counter, we think that this company has got a very strong execution order pipeline. And in fact, whatever order book they are having, I think they are having the order book of more than 3,286 megawatt. I hope I'm right with my figures. So I think such kind of order book is giving the revenue visibility of more than 2 to 3 years. So I think that is a main positive about this company. In fact, the capex guidance is very strong, and the number of working capital days have also been reduced. So I think all in all, financial performance as well as looking after the order book position, we are quite optimistic on this counter, recommending a hold with a price target of 190.
Okay. That's the word coming in. Order book is something exciting, is what Astha is highlighting, and a potential in terms of revenue that indicates coming in going forward of the company on the back of that order book. But on the technical, Somil, what's your view coming in? We have seen that consolidation correction coming in on the stock for the last 6 months. So do you think now maybe we'll see a different story coming in? The viewers should continue to hold, and maybe we'll get more profits?
Definitely. Actually, we were talking about the stock today morning as a medium to long-term pick, and it looks definitely very exciting. It has corrected from the highs of 260, and the correction was till 130. Now, almost around 50% retracement is done, and we on the daily chart it has already started making high tops, high bottoms. So stop loss is very small. 152 is the stop loss, and I think on the upside it has very, very good potential. In the very short term, 190 would be my target, and above 190, 213 would be my next target.
Okay, let's move on then to the next query for today. We have K. Sachindranath, who's writing to us from Hyderabad, holding 270 shares of Bandhan Bank, and they bought the shares at a price of 301 rupees per share. So obviously they're making some bit of a loss on this one, a lot of losses actually, because the share price has halved now. What should they do for this one? Should they continue to hold, book their losses, invest in some other bank? Your view coming in on this front, Astha, Bandhan Bank, is it a good bet to hold on to right now in the banking space, or would you say there's another one? And also, can averaging be an option for the viewer? What is your view?
So I would not recommend averaging because we are not very much optimistic on the prospects of this bank. What we have seen that MFI related stress is there in their loan book, and hence we are not very much positive. In fact, what we are seeing that now management is a little bit optimistic and they are guiding for 2% ROA. So on those outlook by the management only, we are recommending a hold on this counter. With a price target of somewhere at around 175 to 190. But my idea here is to partially exit from this counter and make investments into good private sector banks like ICICI or Axis Bank. So I think this can be a better strategy rather than averaging it out, because we are still skeptical about the Q4 of FY25 results. So it's better to partially exit from this counter and partially remain invested with a price target of 175 to 190 and diversify that into the other stocks like Axis Bank or ICICI.
Okay, surely. So partially book out profits, that's the word coming in from Astha on Bandhan Bank. Your view on this one, Somil, Bandhan Bank, what are you watching out for? What are the levels there? I remember there was a note that came in maybe last month, something from CLSA, where they're actually given a target price of 220 rupees per share. Is that something of a level that one should be watching out for Bandhan Bank, or what do you suggest the viewer should do?
At the moment, I'm definitely negative on the stock. Short-term negative, medium-term negative. I'm expecting the stock to make new lows again. It has always been in a medium-term downtrend. In last probably couple of years, it has gone from 400 to 140. So I'm not very optimistic on this counter. I think 120 would be the next medium-term target on the downside. So I would suggest to exit this stock and maybe get into Federal Bank or AU Bank. I like these counters. So exit from this one and maybe another stock in the banking counter.
Okay, exit from this one, another stock in the banking counter. That's the word coming in from both our experts. Astha said ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, Federal Bank and AU Bank is what Somil has highlighted. So yes, that's the view coming in there. Exit Bandhan, look at these other names. Let's move on to the next query for today. We have K. Narayan Reddy, who's writing to us from Warangal. He wants to know whether he can buy 100 shares of Zen Technology at the current rate. Somil, let me come to you first on the levels, and is it the right level to actually start entering Zen Technologies? What should they be keeping an eye out on? Because Zen Technologies at one point of time had really seen that high, sharp run-up. And as of now, also in the last 6 months, when you're looking at it, that fall has come in. So is it the correct time to now re-enter this one?
I think in the short to medium term outlook, definitely it's the right time to get into the stock. But I'm not very sure on the long term outlook, because the run up we have seen in the last couple of years, it's been a good one. The highs have been 2600 and the lows have been 974. I'll be expecting more correction till 600, 650 levels. However, in the very short term, I think a bounce is definitely expected till 1600 levels. So in the medium term outlook, keep a stop loss of around 1100 and expect a target of 1600.
Okay, keep the stop loss of 1100 and a target of 1600 is what you're saying. But as for you, Zen Technologies on the fundamental front, what are you looking at it, right? Because obviously they are into this drone tech is also there. So a lot of exciting in terms of a sector or a segment that you talk about. But is it worth the bet right now?
Yes, I think one can make entry into this counter because what's more exciting is its order book that is at around 816 crore. So good order book they are having, and in fact now management has said that they are now diversifying into the defense, aerospace, robotics, propulsion. So I think all these things will help the company in posting very strong set of numbers with a very good order book. And as we all know that it is a leader into defense technology solution provider as well as anti-drone technology solution providers. So all in all, looking good to me. But my price targets are a little smaller than what Somil has mentioned. My price target is 1400 to 1450. So yes, one can make entry into this counter with a price target of 1400 to 1450.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there, but can make an entry. That's a word coming in from both our experts. Let's move on. JSW Steel, the steel pack today overall has been buzzing in trade, right? We did hear about those 12.5% recommendation for safeguard duty on flat steel. So that is something that has been keeping these stocks abuzz today. But we have Kunal who's writing to us from New Delhi. 60 shares of JSW Steel, prices 970 rupees per share. As of now, making some bit of a profit. Wants to know whether to continue to hold or look to sell. Astha, let me take it to you. We have, those recommendations, news flow coming in. Also, anticipation was there about this coming in to support the domestic industry. So from here on, are you expecting a further upside, and how are you looking at JSW Steel?
Looking good to us because they have achieved certain capacity expansion plans, and in fact long-term outlooks seems to be positive. However, in the short term, I think when the results came, there was some muted price action was there, and that's why the results were not very much optimistic. But looking after the recent development as well as long-term outlook, we are positive on this counter, recommending a hold with a price target of 1100 to 1150.
Okay, and on the technicals, JSW Steel, Somil, what's your view?
Definitely very strong. The metals have been holding on even when the Nifty was going down by from 23,000 to 22,000. Those 1,000 points, metals were the ones which hold on to the uptrend, and JSW Steel definitely very strong counter. 992 would be my stop loss in the short term, and my targets would be above 1100, maybe 1200 levels.
Okay, 1100 to 1200 levels is what one could watch out for JSW Steel. But on that note, let's just slip into a very short break, and here's some good news coming in for our viewers. India's news business leader is now a click away, introducing CNBC-TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth financial news, articles, and update at your fingertips. Now, download the CNBC-TV18 app from the Apple Store, Google Play Store, or you can scan the QR code on your screens. Welcome back to your stocks on CNBC TV18. We still have with us our experts for today, Astha Jain of Securities and Somil Mehta of Mirae Asset Sharekhan, to solve all your stock-related doubts. Let's move on to the next one, and this one is coming in from Rupesh, who's writing to us from Pune, holding 275 shares of Zomato. This is at an average price of 240 rupees per share. Wants to know whether to continue to hold or look to sell this one. I think this query we have on Zomato coming in every week, I think this theme. Astha, your view for Zomato. The viewers buy price, it's 240 rupees per share. So what should they be doing?
Definitely a hold from our side. Initial price target can be set at around 270 odd levels. Now, talking about this counter, what we are liking about this company, despite stiff competition that they are facing, they are still making investments in adding new warehouses, new stores, etc. So I think that will help in driving the GOV growth of the company. In fact, they are increasing the mobile usage also. So I think with all these efforts which the company is taking, I think definitely the financial performance will be going to be improved one as comparison to the last quarters. So overall, I think it's better to stay invested in this counter with the initial price target of 270.
Okay. And Somil, your view on Zomato? What are you seeing? What is the level that they should keep and continue to hold or sell?
I think in the very short term, I'm definitely looking for a good bounce, but not in the medium term outlook or in the long term outlook. But in the very short term, I think the bounce is on, and the bounce should be retracing the entire fall by at least 50%. And I'm expecting the levels of around 250 levels in the very short term. The stop loss, that would be my target. 250 would be my target in the short term, and the stop loss would be around 214 levels. It is a little higher. The stop loss is a little higher, but the rise in the last couple of days being very big. That's the reason the stop loss is bigger. So 214 is the stop loss, and 250 is the target.
Okay. Keep an eye out on those levels over there for Zomato. The next query for today, this is coming in from P.N. Giri, who's writing to us from Mumbai. They're holding 8 shares of ABB at a price of 7,232 rupees per share. So bought it at a much higher level, so they're making a loss on this one. Wants to know whether to look to sell, can hold for another 3 months, the short-term view. ABB, your view coming in on this front, Astha?
I think better to hold this counter with the initial price target of 6,500, which we are assigning to this counter. But here the cost price is little higher, but I think at the higher level, he can get the chance to exit from this counter. So no need to exit at this point of time. Now, talking about the fundamentals of this counter, company's order pipeline is very strong. They have got orders from the diversified sectors like metals, railways, power distribution, etc. So I think in the capital goods space, definitely order book always holds great importance. And that is the major reason this company can perform very strongly on the financial front going ahead and make the case for upgradation in the EPS as well. Overall, it's better to stay invested in this counter at the present moment of a time. Initial price target can be set at around 6,500 levels.
Okay, keep an eye out. Hold is the word coming in from Astha. Cap good space is expected to do well. So yes, that's the word coming in over there. Somil, your view coming in for the cap good space and ABB specifically. I know you normally say that you're not too much into the averaging side, but given that it's seen such a fall in the last 6 months, does it make sense that the viewer can average it out if fundamentally this is a strong stock? Then technically, what is the view there?
Averaging, definitely, as you said, I'm not very on for it, but you can definitely make a position in futures because it has just broken out of an inverted head and shoulder pattern, ABB, in the very short term. I think even in the medium term outlook, it looks good because there is an ending diagonal pattern on the daily charts that's already broken out. So I'll be expecting a levels of, in the medium term outlook, I'll be looking for a level of 6,580. That will be my target. Stop loss is very small, 5,030 in the medium term outlook. And if you make a position in ABB, I think it will be a great trade from here on.
Okay, great trade from here on. If you take position in ABB, that's the word coming in from Somil. Medium-term outlook and targets is also what they've highlighted. But on that note, let's move on to the next query now. We have this one. He's coming in from Utkarsh, who's writing to us from Bangalore. 47 shares of IRFC is what they're holding. Price is 168 rupees per share. Wants to know whether you should keep holding this stock till it rises. What is the level that one could look to exit as well? Your medium to long-term view on this one, Astha?
Our medium to long-term view is very positive on this counter with a price target of 155 to 160, which we are assigning to this space as of now. So talking about the fundamentals of this counter, we all know it is a dedicated financing arm of Indian Railways. And now they have started diversifying their secured lending in the other space as well. So I think this is one thing which we are really liking about this counter because now they have started diversifying into the backward as well as forward integrations from the Indian railway system. And in fact, the financials which they have posted were also looking on the decent side. Their credit cost was also looking decent to us. So all in all, I think it has a potential to move northwards from here. And that's why we are recommending a
Okay, and on the technicals, Somil, what is your view coming in? We have seen those ups and downs, and in the last 1 year, it's 6% decline. Last 6 months is where it saw the sharper fall coming in, right, for IRFC. Charts and technicals, is it indicating a bit of a recovery?
Definitely. I think this is one of the stocks which I would recommend for a long-term view, where it has already the highs were around 230 and the recent low was around 110. So almost more than 50% retracement is already done. So I think from here on, and also ABC corrective pattern is completed with a weekly positive close last to last week, and high top, high bottom formation is already started. I think the next level in the very short term would be around 150, 170 levels in the medium term outlook. In the short term, 137 would be my target. However, hold on to this stock for longer term outlook.
Okay, hold on to the stock for a longer term outlook. And what is the level you mentioned there, Somil?
In the very short term, the target should be 135. In the medium term outlook, 150 to 170 would be my target. The stop loss would be around 116. That will be short term stop loss, and the stop loss for medium term would be 108.
Okay, Somil. Thank you so much for that. But that was the last query. So thank you so much, Somil, as well as Astha, for joining in with us on the show and always helping our viewers solve all the stock-related doubts. But with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Your Stocks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can always email us your queries on the email address that is flashing on the bottom of your screens for you all. But with that, we'll wind down this edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. Up next, your closing bell.